Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. We are from Group 4. We would like to present the presentation about ESP syllabus design. I'm Winda Grizela as a moderator today. Let me introduce you to the presenters today. There are Ghifar Zulfajri, Dinny, Auralia, Agustina, Putri, Zafirah Marahaeni, and Dinda Mutiara Nova. Next slide, please. Here are the contents that we are to present today. The first is introduction, and then the meaning of the syllabus itself, and then the reason for having the syllabus, the criteria in organizing the syllabus, and the role of the syllabus, and the last one is conclusion. The first material is introduction, will be referred by me. Next slide, please. All right, in today's presentation, we will be concerned with the detailed implementation of the design into a syllabus, materials, and a methodology and evaluation procedures in dealing with the syllabus. Before neither the materials writing, it is not the syllabus is more important than the materials, nor that the syllabus must be written before the materials. The teaching or learning process is a complex and dynamic process with all the various factors influencing each other. Okay, next material will be delivered by the next presenter. Please.
Okay, thank you, Winda. So here explain about the meaning of the syllabus. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, the syllabus is to document, observe what will be learned. Same what Winda said before. Of content of a course, of instruction, and are to be taught. It is by the Longman Dictionary of Language and Applied Linguistics by Richard et al. Next slide, please. So they are by its function. First is the evaluation that describe the statement of what is learned. Next. Hello, is my voice clear?
Yes, Vira.
I'm sorry, I have trouble in connection, so let's next to the teacher syllabus. I'm sorry, the slide is before this. Okay, so the evaluation syllabus is mentioned what the successful learner will know by the end of the course. In fact, it establishes the criteria by which success or failure will be evaluated. And then the second is the organizational syllabus. So the syllabus defines the order wherein the material should be studied. It is most commonly observed in the form of textbooks contents page. And the organizational syllabus differs from the evaluation syllabus in that it includes assumptions about the nature of learning language in order to organize the items of the syllabus. So it is important to consider factors that are dependent on how people learn, such as what is more easily learned, what is more fundamental to learning, and are some items needed in order to learn other items, and the last is what is more useful in the classroom. Next is the material syllabus. So it is the materials whether is usually the first interpret the syllabus, so the context in which the language will appear, the relative weight things and integration of skills, the quantity and type of exercises to be spent on each aspect of language, and the degree of recycling or revision, and are all decisions made by the author. All of these factors can influence whether or not something is learned and how well it is learned. So it is past for example, specific vocabulary items are provided in text that appeal to the learners. For example, they are more likely to be remembered since the learner attention will be drawn to them. Next slide, please. So the next is the teacher syllabus. So where the great majority of students around the world receive language lessons from a teacher. As a result, we have the teacher syllabus. Because the teachers is usually the bridge for the second step of interpretation. And any item's clarity, intensity, and frequency can be influenced by the teacher, and thus the image that the student perceives. Stefik in 1984 describes how an untrained teacher could do a task that would normally take him 20 minutes in 2 minutes. Variability like this will undoubtedly have an importance of the degree of learning. Next is the classroom syllabus. What is I'll read in 1984 state that what is planned and what really happens in a lesson are two different things as any teacher knows. So a lesson is a communicative event that is the result of several factors interacting. The classroom thus creates circumstances that influence the nature of a planned lesson. So the classroom is a dynamic, interactive settings that has an impact on both what is taught and what is learned. So as a result, the classroom creates its own syllabus. It is stated by Brain in 1984. So the last is the learner syllabus. So the learner syllabus is a network of information that develops in the learner's brain that allowing them to grasp and store later knowledge. So as Canlin said that in 1984, the learner syllabus is a part of the internal syllabus and it is record of what will be learned in the future. So the importance of the learner syllabus stems from the fact that the learner observes other syllabuses through the perspective of this. Maybe that's enough for me.
All right, thank you so much, Zafirah, for the chance. So, everyone, here I would like to give an explanation about the reason for having the syllabus. Next slide, please. So, yeah, here there are several points of the reasons why we have or create syllabus. So, basically, the reason why should we have or create a syllabus is because basically the syllabus is a simple document that reveals the intentions of the instructor or teacher to the learner regarding course content and then learning objective, approaches, and then assessment and expectation. And then here there are 8 reasons to have or create a syllabus. So the first one is language is a complex entity. So yeah, language cannot be learned in one go. So we as teachers or teachers must have, or instructors must have some way of breaking this complex unit down into manageable units. Therefore, the syllabus provides a practical basis for sharing assessment, textbook, or teaching materials, and then learning time. And then the second one is syllabus provides moral support. So here, uh, in addition to its practical benefits, the syllabus also provides moral support to teachers and learners. To what's that like? The syllabus makes teaching and learning activities more structured and organized, which makes language learning seems easy to manage or master. So next, third is ESP syllabus has a commercial role. So a syllabus, particularly an ESP syllabus, usually has a commercial role. So the commercial intent here is sponsorship, and students will want reassurance that the money and or time they invest will be worth it, right? Because of this, it is necessary to create a syllabus that can show that some thought and planning was put into course development. And then the fourth is the syllabus can be seen as a projected road statement. So let us return to the analogy that learning as a journey. So from this, the syllabus can be seen as a projected road statement so that teachers and students or learners not only have an idea of where they are going, but also how they can get there. And next slide, please. Yep, thank you. So the fifth is a syllabus is an implicit view of the nature of language and learning. So what this means is that the syllabus will usually be stated in terms of what is considered the most important aspect of language learning. Put the syllabus can be said that knowledge of language structure is the most important element of the language learning. On the other hand, if we take the skill base, it can be said that skill is the most important aspect and so on. A syllabus not only tells the teachers and learners what to learn, but also implicitly why it should be learned. And next, the sixth, the syllabus provides a set of criteria for the selection of learning material. So it defines the type of tags to search for or produce, or the items to focus on in the exercise, and etc. So this set of criteria may be one of the most common in syllabus creation, but if used incorrectly, it can be one of the most damaging next, seven. Uniformity is a necessary of any institutionalized activity, such as education. So this is considered important because the standards in a system must be the same as possible. To achieve this standardization, therefore, a syllabus is needed. The last one is the syllabus provides a feasible basis for testing. So here, in teaching that is intended to bring the learner to a certain state of knowledge, of course, it is necessary to have criteria that are the basis for assessing the success or failure of the learner in achieving the knowledge or skill, right? Therefore, a syllabus needs to be created to provide a feasible basis for testing. So maybe that's all from me. Uh, I will give back time and so for the next presenter, for the next presenter, time is yours.
All right, thank you. So the next material is about criteria in organizing the syllabus. All right, there are 8 criteria in organizing the syllabus. Wait a minute. So the first one is topic syllabus or topic-based syllabus is based on topics selected from student specialist studies and language analyzed based on appropriate syntax. It is according Jordan in 1997. And then the second is structural or situational syllabus. Structural syllabus focuses on aspects of grammar, for example, verb, tenses, sentence patterns, articles, nouns, and etc. And then the gradation of these aspects for teaching. It can be formed from the simple to the complex and based on frequency and usefulness of this aspect, according to Jordan in 1990 and Robinson in 1991. So the third is functional or notional syllabus. The syllabus uses the communicative approach, involves the conceptual meaning notions, for example, time, space, and quantity expressed through language, logical relationship, and the communicative purposes, in this case, functions for which we use language. For example, for greetings, requests, apologies, description, comparisons, cause and effects, and etc. This approach focuses on communication, like the processes of communication that are often used in the teaching learning activity. For example, problem solving, obtaining information, interacting with people, and so on, according to Jordan in 1997. The fourth is skill syllabus. Skill syllabus is organized based on different basic abilities that are involved in using language for special purposes of such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing, according to Thakur in 2013. Next is situational syllabus. A situational syllabus is a collection of real or imaginary situations in which language occurs or is used, based on Tangizadeh in 2000. And the purpose of situational syllabus is to teach the language that occurs in certain situations. Next, functional or task-based syllabus. A task-based syllabus is a complex and purposeful set of tasks that the students want or need to perform with the language they are learning, such as applying for a job, talking with a social worker, getting housing information over the telephone, and so on. From Dinky in 2010. Next is discourse or skill syllabus. The syllabus emphasizes the use of discourse that is in accordance with the context of its use. And last is skills and strategies syllabus. The syllabus focuses on the strategies which can be used to teach and assess students' competence and comprehension. So here I provide you some examples of each criteria, starting from topic syllabus, structural, situational syllabus, functional or notional syllabus, skill syllabus, situational syllabus, functional or task-based syllabus, discourse skill syllabus, and skills and strategy syllabus that you can see on the PowerPoint. And any syllabus which claims to teach people how to communicate in any special situation or area should acknowledge the complexity of communication. A syllabus that is framed in only one aspect, be it structures, functions, content, or whatever, will probably miss the opportunity to develop the acknowledged elements effectively. It is in accordance with Swan in 1985 when reviewing the structural or functional debate. The real issue is not which syllabus to put first. It is how to integrate 8 or so syllabuses, like functional, notional, situational, topic, phonological, lexical, structural, and skills into a sensible teaching program. All right, maybe that's all from me. Thank you. Next presenter, please.
All right. The next material is about the role of syllabus in course design approaches based on Hutchinson and Water. There are 4 course design approaches. Those are, next slide, please. The first one is language-centered. So still, it's line, write syllabus, write or select text to illustrate item in syllabus, write exercise to practice item in the syllabus, and devise text for assessing knowledge of the item in the syllabus. And the second is skill-centered approach. The syllabus provide opportunities for the learner to evaluate the skill and strategies considered necessary in the target situation, such as analyze target needs and then selecting interesting and representative text, then devise a hierarchy of skill to exploit the text, and order and adapt the text as necessary to enable a focus on the required skill, devise activities technique to teach those skills, devise a system to assess the acquisition of the skills. Next slide, please. And the third learning-centered approach, the syllabus and the material involved together, being to inform the other, and such as analyze learning situation, create interesting and enjoyable materials, analyze target situation, establish general syllable, topics and tasks, produce detailed language skill syllabus, and the result is text language and skill content of material and make necessary adjustment. And the last is post hoc approach. It just write material on undefined criteria and then write cosmetic syllabus, satisfy sponsor, teacher, student, and etc. Maybe it's enough from my explanation. I give it back to the moderator.
All right, thanks to all of the presenters for the great explanation about the materials today. I would like to conclude all of the materials. A syllabus is a document that contains the things to be studied. Several syllabus interact with each other during the teaching learning process, including the evaluation syllabus, organizational, material, teacher, classroom, and learner syllabus. We must be very clear about which one we are referring to. However, there is no necessary relationship between them, according to Albright in 1984. The syllabus is an important document. Its importance probably stems from its multifunctional purposes. The role of the syllabus is quite complicated, but it satisfies a lot of needs. One of the main purposes of the syllabus is to break down the mass of knowledge to be learned into manageable units. The syllabus is quite clearly the determiner of the entire course. A syllabus is not defined rate. It is a working document that should be used flexibly and appropriately to maximize the aims and processes of learning. So maybe that's all the materials for today. Next slide, please. Here are the resources for our presentation today. So thanks for your attention. If you have any questions, you can contact us personally. Thanks for your attention. We would like to apologize if there are any mistakes during the presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.